Hi everyone, we are going to work on lesson 31, written practice, pages 213 to 215, 1 through 3, 6, 8, 12, and 24 through 27. So we'll start with number 1. There were 43 parrots in the flock. Some flew away. Then there were 27 parrots in the flock. How many parrots flew away? Okay, so we started with 43, and when some flew away, then we have to subtract, but we don't know how many. So I'm going to use P for parrots. And then there were 27 in the flock. Okay, so we do 43 minus a mystery number equals 27. So in order to figure this out, we need to subtract 43 minus 27. Okay. We need to regroup, so we borrow from the 4, comes a 3, the 3 becomes a 13. 13 minus 7 is 6, and 3 minus 2 is 1. So P equals 16 parrots. All right, number 2. 150 is how much greater than 23? So if we're comparing two numbers, we subtract. And we know we're comparing here because it says greater than. So we're going to subtract 150 minus 23. Okay, and we have to borrow here. This becomes a 4. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. And 4 minus 2 is 2, and 1 minus nothing is 1. So it is 127, the answer to number 2. All right. Number 3, 23 apples is how many fewer than 75 apples? So again, if it's asking us to compare, how many fewer is a clue for compare, then we subtract. So 75 minus 23. 5 minus 3 is 2. And 7 minus 2 is 5. So it is 52 apples. All right. Now we're going to do number 6 on the following page. All right, so we have a picture here. What fraction of this figure is shaded? So you have to look at the picture on page 214, and you'll see there's a rectangle there that's divided into 12 parts. Okay, so 12 is going to be your denominator. There's 12 parts altogether. And then you have to count how many are shaded in. So how many are blue? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be your numerator. So number 6 is 5/12. And then we're going to skip to number 8. And number 8 has an A, a B, a C, and a D. All right, so these are all multiplication problems that are on your multiplication chart, but they are also some that you probably can figure out without even looking at the chart. So 2 times 5, that just means 5 plus 5, which is 10. 5 times 7, you can count by 5s. You know it's going to end in a 5 because it's an odd number. So 5 times 7 is 35. Letter C, 2 times 7, that just means 7 plus 7, which is 14. And then D, 4 times 11, you can use the 11's trick, which would be 44. Okay, So when you multiply by 11 up until 99, it's just double the number you're multiplying by. So 22, 33, 44, 55, okay. Okay, number 12. Okay, so number 12 is more multiplication. And here we've got 5 times 8. So again, you're going to count by 5s, but you know that since it's multiplying by an even number this time, it's going to end in 0. So 5 times 8 is 40. And B, 2 times 8, that just means 8 plus 8, which is 16. And C, 5 times 9. Okay, so you've already figured out 5 times 8. So 5 times 9, you just add one more 5, and that is 45. We know it's going to end in a 5 because we're multiplying by an odd number. Okay, now we're going to do 24 through 27. So that's on the following page. So you need to look at the diagram on page 215 for 24. It says, what multiplication fact is illustrated by this square? So they have a square that looks like this. Okay, and they want to know what multiplication fact. So it's 3 squares by 3 squares. So that's 3 times 3 equals 9. Okay, number 25. Here we have square roots. So remember that a square root means what number times itself equals that number in the little bracket there. So we're going to have the square root of 9. That means what number times itself equals 9. And so you can look on your multiplication table where we highlighted all of the perfect squares, and you'll see that that is 3. Okay, and then B, the square root of 25. That means what number times itself is going to equal 25. Again, you can look on your multiplication table and you'll see that that is 5. Okay, so I'm going to turn my paper over for number 26. Okay, number 26 is a multiple choice. So we have to look at all of the answer choices and figure it out. Which of these does not equal 9? Okay, so 3 squared, that means 3 times 3, that does equal 9. B, the square root of 81, that does equal 9. C, the square root of 18. So the answer is C, the square root of 18 does not equal 9. Okay. Number 27, more multiplication. All right, so 1 times 1 equals 1, right? 1 times anything is that other number. B, 5 times 5. So you can look on your multiplication chart for that one, or you can count by 5s. That is one of the perfect squares, so it'll be highlighted. That's 25. C, we've got 8 times 8. Okay, so they're doing all the perfect squares here, all the ones that are highlighted diagonally. And that is 64. And D, 9 times 9. Again, a perfect square, and that is 81. Okay, and that's the end of written practice.